You know those hidden speakeasy restaurants, like
Yeah.
the ones with absolutely no neon sign, no advertising budget, just, an unmarked door in a dark back alley
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah. The places where you literally have to know a guy who knows a guy just to get a reservation.
Right. And it's entirely word of mouth, which makes it feel incredibly exclusive.
It really does. It kind of defies every traditional rule of marketing, if you think about it.
Exactly. I mean, you aren't supposed to make it hard for customers to find you. And yet, there's a line wrapped around the block every single night for these places. People are practically begging to get in.
Yeah, they want that access.
So today, we're looking at a guy who did exactly this, but in the hyper-competitive, deeply saturated world of software and agency services. We are diving into a really fascinating YouTube interview featuring a guy named Jay Walmsley. He runs an agency called Be Connected.
And the mission of today's deep dive into the source material is to figure out exactly how to stand out in a market where, well, everyone is basically selling the exact same tool. We're going to deconstruct how to become the product yourself, rather than just acting as a middleman reselling a piece of software.
And the source video we're looking at is from a channel called Be Connected World. It's hosted by a guy named Walt, who actually works for High Level, or GHL, which is a massive software company.
Huge company, yeah.
But there's this stunning meta detail right out of the gate here. Jay didn't pitch Walt to get on this channel. Walt actively sought Jay out.
That's the crazy part.
Walt actually starts the video by thanking Jay on camera just for the chance to turn the camera on and hit record.
Which completely inverts the normal power dynamic. I mean,
Right.
usually the agency owner is the one begging the massive software platform for a feature or, a shout out just to get some exposure.
Please notice me.
Exactly. But here, the platform is coming to the agency owner to learn how he's achieving such incredible results. It's a perfect real-world example of the core concept we're going to discuss today, which Jay calls the reputation loop.
So to build that much gravity, or the giant software company you rely on actually comes to you for advice, you'd assume Jay had some sort of master plan from day one.
You would think so, yeah.
But looking at the source material, his beginnings were entirely accidental
Yeah.
and, frankly, pretty messy.
Oh, very messy. We have to rewind the clock about 5 years to the height of the COVID lockdowns.
Okay.
Jay and 4 other people were sitting in a room basically trying to figure out how to build a business, and Jay admits something quite funny in the interview. At the time, he was a self-proclaimed HubSpot junkie.
Meaning he was just obsessed with the software.
Yeah, and spending an absolute fortune on it simply because he didn't know any better. He hadn't even heard of High Level or GHL at this point.
Wait, before we get too far into the weeds here, let's just define CRM for anyone listening who might be, outside the tech bubble.
Oh, absolutely. Good call. So CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. Think of it as a digital nervous system for a business.
But a central hub.
Exactly. It's a software that tracks every single interaction you have with a customer. Emails, phone calls, sales pipelines, marketing campaigns. It essentially automates the process of turning a lead into a paying customer.
Got it.
So HubSpot is a very famous, very expensive CRM. High Level, or GHL, is another one that has become wildly popular among marketing agencies recently.
Knowing that, the irony of what happens next in Jay's story is just incredible. So, a networking contact named Kel Holiday gives Jay a free account for GHL.
Right.
And Jay starts doing some work for Kel and actually starts selling this new CRM software for him.
Yeah.
But he's moving units without having any real comprehension of what the software actually does.
He was completely blind to the mechanics of it. And this goes on for like 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah. Then one day, Jay is sitting in a staff meeting. He's listening to Kel and the tech team discussing GHL. And Jay actually stops the meeting and asks, "What is GHL?"
Are you serious?
Yeah.
He had absolutely no idea that the CRM he had been selling for months was this incredibly powerful tool he was hearing about.
None whatsoever. It completely flew over his head. But once the tech team explained the capabilities of the software to him, the light bulb finally went on.
He realized he was sitting on a gold mine.
Yes. He stopped selling it blindly and instantly started using it to power his own networking community. And when he showed his network what he was doing, suddenly everyone was asking, "How do I get that? Give me a week."
I mean, it's like being a car salesman who sells Ferraris every day, but then takes the city bus to work because you didn't realize you had the keys in your pocket the whole time.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
You literally have the vehicle to get where you want to go, and you're just totally oblivious.
It's a textbook case of proximity blindness, when you are entirely focused on the transaction, just, trying to make the next sale to keep the lights on. You often fail to step back and look at the utility of the thing you're actually holding.
You're just looking at the immediate revenue.
Right, not the systemic leverage. Jay was so busy trying to sell the software that he never stopped to ask how the software could serve his broader vision.
But wait, if he suddenly realizes he has a tool that can do everything, the temptation must have been to just do everything himself, right? Like, hoard all the profits. Is that where he stumbled next?
You hit the nail on the head. Knowing the value of the tool led Jay directly into a trap that almost killed his business in that first year.
Really? How so?
He fell right into the classic solopreneur ego trap. He thought, I know the software now, I know better, I can do it all.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So he tried to handle every single piece of the business. He was doing all the tech support himself. He was handling all the manual customer onboarding.
Which means he's spending all his time fixing forgotten passwords instead of actually growing the business.
Exactly. Getting entirely bogged down in the weeds.
See, I have to push back on this a little bit because this contradicts so much of the glorified internet culture out there right now. We constantly hear about the solopreneur hustle, the idea that you have to grind it out alone, wear every hat, bootstrap everything.
Oh, the hustle culture is relentless with that message.
Right. So how does spending precious capital on an external agency to handle your tech support actually become the catalyst for making more money?
Well, if you're listening to this and you've ever started a side hustle, you know this exact feeling. You're up at 2 a.m. fixing a broken web link or answering a basic customer email because you're too stubborn to pay someone $50 to do it for you.
Been there.
We all have. But you aren't just saving money. You are burning your most valuable, non-renewable asset, which is your time.
Oh.
If you are stuck in the weeds doing $15 an hour administrative tasks, you physically do not have the bandwidth to do the $1,000 an hour strategic thinking.
So the economics of time completely flip when you want to scale.
Exactly. And Day admits he completely screwed up the first 12 months by hoarding those tasks. The turning point was biting the bullet, spending the money, and outsourcing all of that day-to-day tech support to a third-party company called Dakota Agency.
Okay, so he brought in the pros.
Yeah. He also invested capital to get proper professional onboarding videos made. Outsourcing the low-level friction is what allowed Jay to step back into the role of the visionary.
The software is just the engine, but Jay needed the time to be the GPS. I mean, an engine without a GPS just gets you lost faster.
That's a great way to put it.
And because he bought back his time, he was able to build a product that customers simply refused to leave. Like, in the interview, Walt mentions that Jay's churn rate is lower than anywhere else on the planet.
Which is wild. Let's quickly define churn for the audience, though, because it's the most critical metric in the software world.
Definitely.
Churn is the percentage of customers who cancel their subscription and leave your service over a given period.
People who walk out the back door.
Right. A high churn rate means your business is a leaky bucket. You constantly have to find new customers just to replace the ones leaving. So to have a churn rate near zero is the holy grail.
And the secret sauce behind that zero churn reality is completely counterintuitive here. People aren't staying because they just love the GHL software so much.
No, not at all.
They are staying because they are buying Jay's brain.
Yes. Jay explicitly states that people are buying his interpretation, his strategy, and his community. And because he outsourced all the frustrating, time-consuming tech support to Dakota Agency, he is completely free to be the high-level strategist.
Okay, so how much time does that actually take him?
Here is the mind-blowing part. Jay only spends about 30 minutes a week. Well, he actually does a 1-hour open-door session every fortnight, hosting a live strategy call for his community.
Wait, really? 30 minutes a week? That's his entire secret to eliminating churn.
That's it. Because the broken links and password resets are handled elsewhere, he exclusively answers high-level strategy questions. He tells his clients how to apply the tool to grow their specific businesses.
Wow.
Most agencies hand you a login and say, good luck. But Jay realized that software without strategy is just overhead.
It totally reminds me of going to a Michelin star restaurant. When the head chef steps out of the kitchen and comes to your table just to ask how your meal is.
Yes, I love that.
They might only speak to you for 2 minutes. But those 2 minutes completely transform your meal from just dinner into a lifelong memory. You're suddenly fiercely loyal to that restaurant.
That's a brilliant analogy. And this realization really crystallized for Jay about 18 months ago.
What happened then?
He attended a live SaaSpreneur event in Sydney. He met other people, swapped ideas, and realized that building this community-first vision wasn't just like a nice add-on. It was the entire future of his company.
And it worked.
It did.
Yeah.
Today, 80% of his total revenue comes from this bundled CRM approach.
So he bundles his expertise, his 30 minutes of high-leverage FaceTime, with the software. But this isn't just a happy accident, is it? Like, he operates by a very intentional, documented framework.
Highly intentional. Which brings us to the absolute core theme of the interview, the reputation loop.
Right, the reputation loop.
Jay bases his entire strategy on Stephen Bartlett's 5 buckets. If you aren't familiar, Bartlett is an incredibly successful entrepreneur who wrote a book called Diary of a CEO.
Oh yeah, great book.
Well, Jay humorously notes in the video that he actually bought it for $7 at Kmart and says it's the best business education you can get.
Shout out to Kmart for the bargain business degree. So let's really unpack these 5 buckets, because it seems to be the mechanical engine behind everything Jay does. What are they, and how do they create this loop?
So Bartlett argues that every professional builds their career by filling 5 consecutive buckets. Bucket 1 is knowledge, what you know.
Okay.
Bucket 2 is skills, what you can actually do with that knowledge. Bucket 3 is your network, who you know.
Tracking so far.
Bucket 4 is resources, what you have access to, like capital or tools. And bucket 5, the ultimate result of the first 4, is your reputation, what people think of you.
Interesting. So how does Jay map those 5 buckets onto a software business?
Well, Jay started by filling bucket 1, knowledge, when he finally asked, what is GHL, and learned the system.
Right, getting out of that proximity blank.
Exactly. Then he filled bucket 2, skills, by figuring out how to apply it to his networking community. Then he leveraged his network bucket 3 to start selling the solution.
And bucket 4.
He utilized resources bucket 4 by partnering with Dakota Agency to handle the tech support. Which brings us to the pinnacle, reputation.
So the reputation loop means you stop selling the commodity. You don't sell the CRM itself, because literally anyone can buy that.
Yes. You sell the networking, the education, and the ongoing support. Crucially, you sell the resources that allow your clients to raise their own profiles.
You become the central hub that empowers them.
You got it. You aren't pitching a software subscription. You are inviting them into an ecosystem where your reputation elevates theirs.
But wait, making a customer pass an interview to give you money sounds like corporate suicide. How does he not go bankrupt doing that? Because earlier we talked about the speakeasy and having no neon sign.
Right.
Jay does not run typical Facebook ads. He doesn't blast the internet with, "Sign up today for 20% off" messaging, does he?
No, he deliberately introduces friction. Prospects have to go through a very specific journey.
What does that look like?
First, they have to watch a detailed video. If they are still interested after that, they have to book a demo.
Okay, pretty standard so far.
But it's not with a random low-level sales rep. They book it with Jay, personally. And they're only allowed to onboard and buy the product if Jay decides they are a good fit for the community.
He literally curates the room. But hold on. This completely flies in the face of the traditional Silicon Valley sauce playbook.
It really does.
For the last 20 years, the golden rule of tech startups has been to remove the human from the process entirely so it can scale infinitely, automate everything. Zero friction.
That's the classic model, yeah.
Does Jay's reputation loop prove that unscalable human friction is actually the ultimate scaling hack for service businesses?
It absolutely challenges the old playbook. Look, if your goal is 1 million users paying you $5 a month, yes, remove the friction. But if you want a highly dedicated community paying premium prices with zero churn, friction is actually your greatest filter. By making it slightly harder to get in, Jay ensures that only highly committed people join.
And committed people don't churn when they hit a minor technical snag.
Precisely. That unscalable human touch is what creates an impenetrable moat around his business.
Which brings us back to the meta detail we started with. By curating his community so fiercely and building his own reputation bucket, Walt from High Level, the platform Jay relies on, comes to him for the interview.
That is the reputation loop fully realized in real time.
Wow. So if this highly personal, high-friction reputation loop is the new way to win, does that mean the traditional automated software as a service model is dead?
Walt asks this exact burning question in the interview. He asks Jay, is the high-level space saturated? Could a total beginner start today with 0 accounts and actually make it?
And what's the verdict?
To understand Jay's answer, we need to briefly explain white labeling, because that's the core of the saturation problem.
Good idea.
White labeling is when a company creates a product or service, but removes their brand and logo, allowing the purchaser to put their own branding on it.
So they can sell it as their own.
Right. High Level is designed for this. You can buy a master account, slap your agency's logo on it, and resell sub-accounts to your clients as if you built the software yourself.
Which totally explains why the market feels so crowded. I mean, thousands of agencies are essentially selling the exact same underlying code, just with, different color schemes and logos.
Precisely. So when Walt asks if the space is saturated, Jay's answer is nuanced. If you are going to use the old model, meaning you throw $10,000 at Facebook ads, hoping to passively acquire $20,000 in subscriptions for a white-labeled product, he says that is done to death.
It's just a race to the bottom.
Yeah, that purely automated faceless game is incredibly saturated because you're competing purely on price for a commoditized tool.
So the easy money era of just blindly reselling software is over. But there is a path forward, right?
Yes. Jay says you can absolutely succeed today from absolute zero if your value proposition is you. He points to another creator in the space named Sarah Cordner, who runs a brand called Techmatics. Jay frames it perfectly. When you buy Techmatics, you aren't just buying white-labeled software.
What are you buying?
You are buying Sarah Cordner's specific knowledge. You are buying her years of experience. Jay argues that a white-labeled CRM isn't just a piece of software anymore. It's a business growth platform.
Oh, I see.
It's an operating system, and you, the agency owner, are the pilot.
It really is like buying a standard acoustic guitar versus buying that exact same guitar. But it comes with weekly, private jam sessions with a rock star.
Well, that's perfect.
The physical wood and strings are completely identical. The raw materials are the same. But the outcome you're going to achieve is entirely different because of the human intelligence attached to it.
That is a phenomenal way to look at it. As artificial intelligence and white-labeled software make the actual physical tools completely identical for everyone across the board, the technology itself becomes a mere commodity.
And when the tech is commoditized, the only variable left is trust.
Exactly. And trust is built through connection, through that Michelin star check-in, through curating a community of like-minded people. You aren't competing on software features anymore. You are competing on philosophy.
Okay, let's distill the key takeaways for you listening right now.
Yeah.
How can you apply Jay Walmsley's journey to whatever you are currently building? There are 3 massive lessons here.
Let's hear them.
Number 1, stop trying to do the low-level tasks if they bog you down. The solopreneur trap is real. If you're spending hours on $15 tasks, you are robbing yourself of the $1,000 strategy time. You have to outsource the friction.
And number 2, realize that 30 minutes of high-value strategic face time is worth infinitely more to your customer retention than a flawless piece of software. People want guidance and interpretation, not just a login credential.
Right. And number 3, build your own reputation loop by bundling your unique knowledge with the tools you sell. Fill your buckets, knowledge, skills, network, resources, so that your reputation literally becomes the product.
It's a fundamental shift in how you operate.
It really is. Whether you are pitching a project to a client, running your own agency, or just trying to climb the corporate ladder inside a massive company, remember this. People don't buy the spreadsheet, and they don't buy the software. They buy your interpretation of it. You are the value proposition.
Which leaves us with a really vital question to evaluate where you stand right now. Think about this for a second.
What?
If the primary tool or software you use in your work completely vanished tomorrow, just disappeared into thin air, would your clients or your team stick around just to keep working with you?
That's a heavy question. If the answer is no, it's probably time to start building your own reputation loop. You want to be the speakeasy. Build the gravity so strong that even when there's no sign on the door, people are still lining up around the block just to see what you're doing.